Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. It's a Kevin Jackson Show. Glad you're with me. KJRadio.com is where you can find out more about us, and you can get the show 24/7 on demand. If you want to give us a call, 844-551-8255. We'd love to hear from you. So, I didn't realize this. You probably didn't either if you grew up in sane times, but there are 3 genders. And I'm sure that by the time it's all said and done with the left, there'll be the 51 or whatever number Facebook is at. Oregon, a while back, this happened in June, became the first state in history to offer more than 2 gender options on identity documents, driver's licenses, things like that, making it the first to legally recognize what they call non-binary, intersex, and agender people on ID cards. If you know what that means, please explain it to me. You can say, I don't declare a gender. I understand somebody saying I was born with both and had to, but at some point you make a decision. I don't know. I could see that, but like there's some national outcry of people with multiple genders. There's male and female, and there are people who occasionally get born with both parts. Generally, they make a decision or their parents make the decision for them. And I can understand one of them saying, I don't feel like a man or I don't feel like a woman or what have you. And I understand that. We recognize. Everything else, I don't really get. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but it's strange to me. Can we just make a choice? Is it really that big of a deal to declare I'm a man, I'm a female? Right now, we live in a time where I believe people are treated equally. So I know women would go, I would never choose to be a woman in a man's world. Really? There are a lot of guys that probably would differ with you and say it's a woman's world. If you know how to be a woman in this world, you can have it all. That's easily provable. They say when the history-making rule, which the State Transportation Commission passed last Thursday, this is back in June, goes into effect on July 3rd, Oregon residents will have the option to choose among 3 gender categories when applying for their ID cards: male, female, and X for non-binary or unspecified. You can unspecify your gender. I don't know if anybody can do this. Do they check? What is the procedure? I would really like to know how you can declare one or the other. I look at a woman, I say that's a woman. I look at a man, and I get that there are times we're confused. I've seen Maury, okay? But the question is, when you're identifying someone in a traffic stop, in a wreck, in a hit and run, in a police chase, it was a non-binary, unspecified person. Okay, so I don't need to look for a man or a woman. What am I looking for, a gopher? We got a gopher. Now, Governor Jerry Brown, Moonbeam of California, has signed what they're calling landmark legislation. They call it the Gender Recognition Act. It officially recognizes non-binary gender option on California state-issued IDs, driver's license, and birth certificates. Senate Bill 179 will make an easier process for individuals who want to change their gender on legal documents. Law states that a person would no longer require a sworn statement from a physician approving the gender transition for the legal document to reflect this different gender. It will also create a new process for people under the age of 18 to apply for a gender change on their birth certificates. It will go into effect in 2019. Now, when you understand the culture war that is upon you, folks, that there are really 2 genders, we understand there are permutations. I get it. But to make it something to where we now have to recognize all of this, it reminds me of politics where they say, we need lots of people, we don't need Democrats or Republicans. And I'm not going to argue that you don't need multiple things. I've seen how other democracies work, like England, that have, 14 different groups that vie for political office, and they form coalitions and what have you. I get it. But I think that we're pretty clear that it takes a man and a woman to procreate, and we have 2 genders, and the other genders are a little different. Things that where you what do they call it? Dysmorphia, things like that, where you believe yourself to be something different. I understand that. And you may be a man trapped in a woman's body, but biologically, you're a man. You may be a woman trapped in a man's body, but biologically, you're a woman. Your mind may have a disjoint between the two. I get the miswiring. I do. And I don't want to seem insensitive to this. I just think that to pass, this is where I go back to, we pass legislation because a handful of people have decided, I don't like making a choice. I don't like that you're forcing me to pick one over the other, as if it really matters. You know, now, again, if women say, well, we're treated unfairly, okay, then I guess you could pick to be a man now? Does it make you a man? Well, let me ask you, what's the ultimate outcome of all of this when you think about it? The ultimate outcome. Where do we end up? Do we just get to pick and choose or is it a Dolezal world in with respect to color? I can choose whatever color. Is it a Elizabeth Warren world where I can choose whatever ethnicity I choose to be? Hillary Clinton, where I can choose to be whatever gender. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, she is a girl, I guess. You guys, you get where I'm going. This is the craziness of leftism. Leftism says, okay, kids growing up, we're going to confuse you about boys and girls. We want you to believe that you can choose and be whatever you want to be, pick and choose. And if you decide that you're a little boy and you want to be with other boys, that doesn't make you gay because you can declare to be a woman, in which case you're okay. Now, so what? You can't have babies. You don't have fallopian tubes. You don't have a uterus. It doesn't matter. You can pick and choose. You're a black kid. You don't want to be considered black because you want to experience white privilege, and just say you're white. That'll do it. Because you know what the left is? They're all about these boxes. Put yourself in a brand new series of boxes. Ask yourself this question, folks. What happens when you've got 5 new gender categories and then they go, oh, this gender category is really being stepped on by the other gender categories. I don't know what the gender category would be. Non-binary, asexual whatevers are being stepped on by the binaries. You think government is really, they care about it in the sense of, oh, well, let's make sure that everybody's represented. They're looking for another way to get your money, to pit somebody else against you. It'll be the regular genders, the male and females, against all the non-binaries, whatever that ends up being. Idiots.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.
Beth Cook Moranville, author of Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope.
Hope, that wonderful, wonderful 4-letter word that you may feel completely out of. I wrote this book to give you great hope. It's not too late. If fetal position is an all too familiar place for you, I understand. If the next 60 seconds are too long, this book is for you. Wherever you are right now, whether you're dealing with divorce or death or sickness, take hope. You are going to make it through this pain. Don't roll your eyes. I've walked this road and I know it. The best is yet to come.
Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope from author and speaker Beth Cook Moranville, can be found on Amazon.com or Kindle.com. For more information, visit closerthanyourBreath.com or on Facebook at Closer Than Your Breath.